Yeah. See, listen, I'm going to come in from a slightly different context. And I do not subscribe to the evil axis logic that there are some people designing something behind so that people are affected, right? And therefore, there's a genome which had a fantastic idea and then what to do something. I don't subscribe to that line of thinking. I think there are people who intend to do something. They might be intentioned in the wrong way, but in a vacuum, people go in. The topic is governance, and I think it's important to realize when there's an absence of governance, a vacuum, things get sucked in.
Right. Switch off the projector.
Yeah, I think your projector is.
Projector.
Somebody needs to figure out when it is off.
Things get sucked in
Yeah.
into that vacuum, and in that vacuum, there will be various different elements which happen there. So I will not go deeply into that, except to again say that I think it's extremely important for this group not to get caught in the evil axis within ourselves, or the citizenry, the enemy somewhere else. And that's the framework I want to. And the second major thing I want to say here is that, and here is a thought in terms of how to go forward on governance and master plan. The one line I'm going to say here is that whether DHV makes the master plan, whether MPC makes the master plan, whether citizens make the master plan, it has got no chance of survival. It will not survive. It will not happen. So there is a stream which this group will do on the various subheads in terms of what we want our city to be. Great, that has to be done. And that's the democratic planning model where it says people bottoms up say what they want the city to be. But I would like to concentrate on the other side as an important vertical, saying that whatever this ideal plan comes out, there's no chance in hell that any of those things are going to happen. Because that is where there's a governance problem. There's a governance problem on implementation. So I come from a very practical view, in the sense that how do you make even a bad plan succeed? Yes, there has to be something which does that. So to illustrate that, my point here is that, and also, my strain of thought, we should stop using the word master plan. Because as soon as you use the word master plan, we are reacting to what the Karnataka Town and Country Planning Act or DHP or whoever it is saying the master plan. Because the master plan, technically speaking, is only a land use plan. Legally, the master plan is a land use plan. And then it says, with the land use plan, please plan for other things. So we are not talking about the master plan actually. We are talking about planning for Bangalore, which is slightly different from the exercise which is going on. What we are saying is that unless you have a plan for Bangalore, what you have conceptualized as a master plan is one sub part of that. Or make the master plan into that what we're talking about. But right now, legally speaking, if you push the envelope a bit more, BDA says, no, but look here, here's the document. I'm supposed to give you a land use map. That's all I'm supposed to do. So, when I said that there is no chance of a master plan or a plan to succeed, and I'm talking beyond the aspects of ward committees or MPC being formed, he said we have something called the parastatals. None of these guys have, and they're all ruled by their own acts. None of these guys have even a combination of words which will spell master plan. So, the master plan is a non-mandated document which exists in a vacuum, and the rest who are supposed to provide the infrastructure. So all of those 7 points which you see are outside of the master plan, and there are people here to look at that master plan and say, therefore I must plan for this, but it's not mandated.
That's right, absolutely.
Now, therefore, how's the process actually happening? DHV consultant goes to BWSSP and says, what's your plan, etc., what do you think? That guy knows that whatever data I give, whatever I say, I can't be held accountable for it. If I say this much of what is going to be there, I can give any damn figure. Neither am I accountable, nor do I have to follow that plan. So here's a paper. No, I'm saying that this is exactly what happened because I've traced this master plan process from 2007, the first one, to now. Grown a bit. But the problems are the same. So you have the master plan as a document, which is a land use document. And the rest of the paraphernalia around it, that we will have transportation here, we will have this here, we'll have urban poor looked after this way, we'll have this looked after this way, water looked after this way, are all just, little decorations to a real estate distribution of land. So, at the risk of repeating myself, whatever the plan that comes out, whatever the vision that comes out of this group, or from the MPC, or from DHV, it has no chance of success. Because a plan can only succeed if it is integrated with the rest of the things, and the word I'm using is mandated. Now, I believe there's a way out of this, in 2 or 3 different ways. The longer thing is, of course, to use this whole exercise to deepen the democratic process of government, which is what we're doing. We are saying that we'll use this opportunity, as Leo has said, that all of us have fought for representation, planning, down to earth. So let's use this opportunity to deepen the processes of planning, MPC, etc., those things. Fine, doable. Not doable in the sense, a good effort to take up. However, coming from a very practical kind of sense, I'm saying that, look, if I do that, I still need a goddamn plan for Bangalore. I need Bangalore to survive. This program might take another 15 years. If Leo has been fighting on this for, and Katyani has been fighting this for the last 10, 15 years, it's going to take another 15 years for it to develop. But there has to be something that happens. Bangalore still has to develop. So here is where I use the word, well, he was also involved in JNM and other things, but I still use this word, embed. The strategy, and I would like the larger group to agree to me, but it's something which I'm going to follow, is to make sure that DHV, in its report to government, we try to embed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things, saying that these are the conditions on which any master plan can work. They have actually already written as a first document to the BDA, the governance model. I don't have a copy of it, but it can be got through RTA, etc., saying that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is the framework on which a master plan can work. There will be various areas. So I believe the way to go forward is to make sure that that is embedded into a document, whereby after that, you, me, etc. will have to go to court and say, boss, the consultant is saying this is how the master plan works. Right? If this is not fulfilled, how can anything else be fulfilled? Because this is the time where color pencils will be the price of color pencils will really go up now. Right? Because this is a time where you will suddenly see in the BDA corridors frantic guys working with color pencils in green, blue, black. But that's all that matters. You and me are interpreting the master plan as something beyond. And we should. But let's be real about it and say, boss, that side is looking at the master plan from a very different perspective. Legally, they are okay to say that, because there's no court which will say that the master plan is to cover beyond what the Karnataka Town Planning Act has to do. And all the other paraphernalia items about it. So, the question is, how do we make sure that BWSSB, when it gives its plan, the sectoral plan as they call it, to DHV consultants, to BDA, there is a bind to that. If we have that, then we will not come up with this figure of 17,000 tons of solid waste management, which has been extracted from somewhere. He can give 17,000 tons, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to him. Metric tons. It doesn't matter to him. Because he can just give it there, master plan go out, and I will do my BWSSB as I want, because I've got no links there. So, the approach in governance issues is that, of course, the fight that we've all been doing, that each of these acts, including the BDA Act, have not got changed. Even after the MPC has come out, the BDA Act still says that he is the MPA. He doesn't refer to the MPC. So until the BDA Act says that's an MPC, Khatri is perfectly legitimate in saying, what I'm doing is what I'm doing. The BWS is saying that I do not have to consider the MPC. I do not have to consider the Karnataka Town and Country Planning Act being different. The interpretation of that and how it embeds is a slightly different issue. But there's nothing called master plan here. So, approaching this is maybe 2 or 3 ways. One is what I would call embedding, to make sure some of these thoughts are there as a document. What are the reasons why 2015, the current master plan, is failing? What are the parameters for why it's failing? If you do not put that in paper, then without correcting that, you cannot and should not go to the next master plan. So that's the embedding I'm talking about. Second embedding, sorry, finish, close. Okay, second thing I'm saying is that the only other way to do it is probably a plan moratorium, is to hold, and that's the people power. The people power can go into figuring out what should be Bangalore, but the strategic or the tactical method is to say, stop, take away, hold, now revisit, now revisit. And that is something I think this group also has to, that's it.